This is Wrestling Caucus. I'm Peter A.
I'm Smiley Ariaga on a new microphone, I think.
Oh, that's good. And today we're going to talk about AEW simulcasting on Max and TBS and Raw going to Netflix. Big deal. Wrestling is taking over streaming, which is really cool. So we're going to start with Dynamite on Max. As of right now, the whole first year of AEW will be on Max. So the first Dynamite, the first Double or Nothing, that's all there. Does that mean anything to you at all?
Um, well, not I wasn't thinking about it until I looked at a first year Dynamite and then I'm comparing it to now and I'm like, Jesus Christ, what a different universe. Like what it wow. I kept wondering what the hell happened. I mean, I think it's good as a reference point and plus we talk about this the first Grand Slam is the Grand Slam to watch, and the second one, right? The second one was
Yeah,
pretty good,
yeah.
yeah. And but yo, if you if you want to get a grasp of what AEW's potential really started out as, watch that first year and you're like, wow, holy shit. Like it I mean some red flags are there. One little thing, Cody used to openly talk about how baby faces and heels don't matter. I'm like, fuck. But other than that, no, it's good as a reference point, I think. Like to have that whole archive there.
I don't know if Cody said baby faces and heels don't matter. I think he talked more of there's a lot of gray, which is true. You know, even now, WWE, look at, on Raw, we'll talk about it. Seth and Punk, these are two baby faces, right? But their story can make you look at both Punk and Seth in both in gray areas. But again, luckily, that's not all wrestling. Most of it is babyface heel dynamics. But anyway, I do think having the first year of AEW is a great starting point because I think Max is developing the technology for AEW to broadcast their pay-per-views on there. And maybe we'll see more of the library there. But I've always wanted to go back and watch the first Double or Nothing and maybe the early Dynamites and that Cody and Jericho match from the first full gear. I really want to go back and revisit that. But it's great. And also, like, on Max, you're exposing AEW to a new audience. So now someone who's never seen AEW and has Max, they can see AEW from the beginning if they so choose. So
Yeah.
I think it's important.
And as someone who's kind of soured on what Jericho's doing right now, watching what he did in that first year, I'm like, God dang. He was so charismatic. He was so fun. It was I didn't dread his segments. I'm like, what the hell happened? But no, yeah, no, first year Jericho was great in AEW. That was
Yeah.
so, especially when he won the title. That was very funny at first.
There was a sign, I don't know if you noticed. Some fan had it said book Athena, right? And it made me think, how come there's no Ring of Honor presence on this show? Because Ring of Honor has no real home. You know, it's only on watchringofhonor.com or Honor Club, if that's even still a thing. Do you care at all? Do you wish you saw someone from Ring of Honor on this show?
You see, here's the thing. It's hard for me to care because they don't care. Like, maybe instead of collision. Okay, first of all, the HBO thing. That should happen a long time ago. I thought that was going to happen. I thought they were going to get some sort of streaming deal when they bought the ROH archive. And here's the thing, maybe instead of Collision, how about have Ring of Honor on TV? How instead on Saturday or Friday nights? Instead of they got rid of what the hell is it called? Rampage? They got rid of that. How about screw Collision? That was only good when Punk was there. Screw Collision and just have ROH, and so they can have at least more of a presence than they have now. You know what I'm saying? If you want to do something with ROH, that's an idea.
I don't know because Ring of Honor has no real name value anymore, really. Just to be honest, in 2024, 2025, there is no Ring of Honor has no real value to me. So if you call a show Ring of Honor TV and you have it on cable, who's gonna watch it? Really? But if you're gonna have something like that on TV, at least on this show, they should have introduced at least one or two or three people from that show that's heavily featured on here in front of a new audience. You know, because look at it now. Like when Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor, they had Honor Club, right? So people can go watch some Ring of Honor stuff on there. But outside of that, you know, you want me to go out of my way to go to watchringofhonor.com to watch Ring of Honor, but you don't really talk about it on TV, really. You don't really
Y-
promote it.
y-
So it's kind of like a dead show. But I feel like they do put on Ring of Honor shows. And I went to Ring of Honor. I went to Final Battle. And a lot of stuff that happened there, I didn't realize it was happening. You know, I was so I didn't know what was going on.
See, here's the thing: if they don't want to do any, like, I understand, like, you putting it on Saturday would be doing something with it, since you no longer have since you no longer have Rampage. If you want more than one show in AEW, you bought Ring of Honor, use it some way. If they don't want to use it for anything, like, what the hell they buy? Why do they buy it for?
If it's me, if I'm Tony Khan, I'm buying the library.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I
So,
don't
like,
need to. Yeah,
if you already have it, you have the library, you have you have Ring of Honor, you have it. Like, do something, put it on TV. You have like multiple shows. Like, use that slot for Ring of Honor. Like, something. Like, you're
yeah.
referring to this thing that's like that you supposedly want us to watch. Let us give us ways to watch it. I don't know. Like,
I
I
think
don't
they
know. I don't
just
book TV.
they should just retire the brand name. To be honest, there's really no real reason to continue it if does the show have an audience? Like I mean, I went to Ring of Honor because it was cheap. You know, like I didn't care about most of the matches on the card. You know, I mean, there were some things that I thought were good that I didn't expect it to be as interesting as it was, but I'm not going out of my way to watch Ring of Honor TV because it's not on TV, it's on the internet somewhere. And I don't know. I don't care about Ring of Honor anymore. But I do think since Ring of Honor still exists, they should have had at least just one or two things on this Dynamite Max TBS simulcast show. Should have had something there to remind people that it still exists. I don't know.
I don't know. I just feel like anyone that had a bigger mind than Tony Khan, if they had Ring of Honor and they had their archive, they had the rights to Ring of Honor, they would do more with it than what he's doing with it. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. Like, you could do something with it. You can do something with it, but they choose to do the bare minimum.
Yeah, I guess. Will anyone care?
I mean, I'm saying if they tried, if they like WWE, they tried to do something with ECW and it bombed. Aside from One Night Stand, that was great. Like, but they tried to make a show and it bombed. But at least they attempted it. Like, they didn't. They're not. The only thing they. What the hell are they doing with Ring of? What the hell is AEW doing with Ring of Honor other than
No.
like having a show every now and then for Ring of Honor?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a dead brand, and they still put it on, but no one's watching it. But if you're in a show, if you're still putting on shows, and you have a show in front of a new audience, you should put one or two things there. But if you ask me, generally speaking, they should just kill this brand entire. Like they should just kill it. Like there's no point to having it because clearly outside of this one person who had this Book Athena sign, maybe they were trolling, but no one really cares about the Ring of Honor brand outside of clearly this one person. So I don't know. I think it's over. All right, let's move on. So there was also a Collision simulcast as well, and they had Private Party on that show, and they're the AEW Tag Team Champions, but they should have been on this show. Now, the reason why I say that because those early AEW press conference, they had the Young Bucks go on there and say tag teams can be the main event, right? And for the most part,
Another
AEW's
thing
been,
that they said in year one AEW that went away.
yeah, but at least they've been, for the most part, they've been focusing on tag teams. My thing is, on this show, they were not a focus. They did have tag teams wrestle, but would you have had a tag team title match on the show?
I would definitely have a tag team title match. I would focus on tag teams just as much as you focus on your heavyweight division and your women's division. You want to know how you do that? You want to know where you start? Get the hell rid of the trios titles. All of them. All of them. Get rid of the any tag title that has more than two people. Hell, get just you remember when AEW only had 4 titles? Remember that?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. And the tag team and because of that, tag teams were actually starting to do stuff. You remember when FT you remember when Acclaimed was one of the best tag teams? You remember when FTR was one of the best tag teams on TV? You remember when that stopped? When they started doing all the trios tag crap. Now,
Well, I will say this. Um, Acclaim were on the show. They wrestled the Hurt Business. They were featured on the show, and one of the acts that got some of the best reactions was FTR, and they
yeah.
were on the show. They were in the main event.
Eh, the only thing is, like, I wish like it was FTR. Like, I know they had to get involve Edge because they were wrestling Moxley's crew, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so I guess he needed a third person, but like I really wish that main event was just a tag match. Edge should have been on ringside with FTR, having it, and FTR will be wrestling like Yuta and Cesaro and a Claudio or Claudio and Moxley. Like like if you want to help tag teams, folk do tag team matches 2-on-2. I don't know, like I guess it's like I guess I'm biased because I hate the I don't even hate trios tag match. I just hate the way they do it. It's always just like, oh well, just get these guys on. It's like
yep.
it's like the t-shirt matches in New Japan. Remember, there's just motherfuckers in their t-shirts
A
and
bunch of 6-man tags.
yeah, it's just that meant nothing. Like
Yeah, yeah,
like in WWE, and I know it's hard. And it's not like a WWE versus AEW thing. It's just like these are the two main points of reference, right? In WWE, their 6-mans are freaking great because it's like there's a reason for why they're happening and they're interesting and they're memorable. They put effort into this 6 people. We got to put effort into this. In AEW, it's always just throw these guys on, just get him on TV, get him down the ramp.
yep.
And yeah, I don't know. That's just how I feel. I hope I'm not ranting, but it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I just think that when you're in front of a new audience, you got to remind people who are your who are your stars, who are the people that people should care about. And I thought this was a great opportunity for people to reintroduce for them to reintroduce, you know, certain people. Right, you're coming off of World's End, so like here's our top tag teams, here's our top women, here's our top people that are gunning for the world title. But I will say they did they did a solid job of letting people know who are the top contenders for the world title. Right, so you had Max and Jay White cut promos, great promos by the way, stating that they want the world title. And the Casino Gauntlet match is coming up, so that was good what they did. However, which leads me to talk about Kenny Omega. Right now, they tease his return for the following Dynamite, the Dynamite that's coming. Right, and he had that stare down with Okada at World's End. Right, and they're teasing a match for them at possibly at All In Texas this summer. Kenny Omega needed to be physically in that ring during the show. Do you agree?
Yes, if he wasn't going to be physically in the freaking ring, there's no point in even mentioning him. If we know, like, because he's in Japan right now, isn't he?
Yeah, he came back at that world. What was it? The Dynasty show, whatever it was called.
Wow, really? He didn't want to
Yeah,
return to AEW first, like to let everyone know, hey, I'm back. Like officially. I
yeah,
don't
and
know.
I know AEW has a relationship with New Japan, and that's great. But for someone like Kenny Omega, his first anything should have been on AEW TV,
Because
especially when there's yeah.
the last I hate to cut you off. You were saying?
No, go ahead. Yeah, you finish your thought.
The last time we saw Kenny, he was being murdered on AEW TV. So why the hell is he returning to New Japan first?
It made no sense to me. I don't get it. I don't get it because New Japan is
Oh
not
man.
in great shape, right? Because they lost Okada, they lost Kenny. They Zach is great, but Zach is not Okada as far as like a guy, a super top main event level attraction, right?
Okada doesn't even feel like Okada anymore.
Well, yeah, but honestly, Kenny doing a Kenny and Okada program to tease down the line would probably be good. You know what I mean? That'll be something because on the marquee side of things, AEW has been slacking. But I do think Kenny Omega should have been here because this is their ace, right? And a video package does not suffice. He should have been in the ring cutting a promo.
Yeah.
Something. He should have been, yeah.
And you
If
know
he's
who
not
else?
yeah, go ahead.
He should have attacked Osprey. Like Osprey, that was like the last time we saw Kenny like wrestle was against Osprey, right?
Yeah, but Osprey's busy right now. He's in a
Oh,
program with Kyle Fletcher.
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So down the line, yeah, but I think right now, I guess the match that they're teasing is him and Okada. But he should have been in the ring. Just like Max should have been in the ring. Max should have been physically present in the arena. This should not have been a pre-tape thing. He should have been right there because Max is one of their aces. He's one of their day ones. So the first Max simulcast, Max, he needed to be here.
Oh, I thought he wrestled Adam Cole in this show.
No, that was World's End.
Oh, I thought this was World's End. Okay, never
No, this
mind.
is Dynamite. Fight for the
Yeah, you're right.
Fallen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It felt like I guess to answer a question that you had for me earlier, did it feel like another Dynamite? I guess. Well, there's your answer.
Yeah, I was getting to that. This did not feel like a big show. Did you think so?
No,
Because I didn't.
no,
Was it
not
was it
really.
a bad show?
Uh, it's a show. It wasn't
Yeah,
it
I
wasn't
didn't think it was bad.
it wasn't bad. It was just
It was good, but it wasn't. It needed to be great. You know what I mean?
but everything's
Because,
great. Everything's great. Everyone's having a good time. So
but you needed to. Yeah, you're in front of a new audience. This is the first. This is a big deal. You know, like the only people that are doing this kind of stuff is WWE, right? So you needed to come out guns blazing, and they didn't. I'm sorry, like Adam Copeland or Cope and FTR, FTR 6-man with the Death Riders
oh
is not
Jesus,
enough, man. It's not enough.
yo,
I'm sorry.
this
No.
John Moxley, he doesn't even show the fucking belt on TV
Why is it in a briefcase? Why is the belt in a
because
briefcase?
Peter, we're in a movie. This is a movie. We're in a cool little indie movie. This is like so edgy.
You know,
He
I'm
doesn't.
glad I'm glad MJF pointed it out. He was like, he was really angry about the fact that he's putting the belt, the Triple B, in a briefcase. I'm so glad that was great stuff.
You know,
I don't get this Moxley stuff. I don't get it.
it's
Am I stupid?
no. No. Well, technically, we're stupid because we don't get it.
Oh,
We're the can't. We're the bad people. We're mean. We don't understand it.
bad faith criticism.
It's bad faith.
It's
Listen,
bad faith.
listen, listen. You, you know what was cool when Max being the champion? Look, I mean, when he that before that first match with Danielson, him being champion felt incredible because you saw his version of the belt. You saw him bring the freaking belt. You know, there are days where I wake up and I'm like, oh God, Dynamite's on today. Jesus Christ. But you know what? At least they have cool looking title belts. At least they have a cool looking world championship. We don't even see the world championship anymore. It could look hell. By the time they open up that briefcase, that world title will probably look worse. We don't know. We don't know. We don't see it. It doesn't feel like he's champion because we don't even he's too cool to even show the belt. Like what? What is happening? Like what the hell's happening, man?
Look,
I don't know.
I'm excited for Kenny to come back. He hasn't been on TV in a while. Um, thank goodness that they, this EVP storyline is
Is it
is
over?
over.
Is it over?
With the Bucks and Tony Khan, they just killed that dead. Thank goodness. They had the War Games match or whatever match beyond Blood and Guts, and then it was over. That was it. Good. It sucked. It sucked.
Am I
Oh
overmodulating with all this laughing?
no, no, it's
Okay.
fine. Okay, listen. Last thing on Dynamite. This was not a bad show by any means, but it felt like just another Dynamite. It didn't feel like anything special.
Oh, the hell? What the hell is his name? Jesus, I feel bad. Jeff Jarrett. He
Yeah,
we were talking about this like for I feel like for a year. Every other Jeff Jarrett backstage segment I've been seeing is him with his buddies and they're telling him, "Man, we love you, man. Everything you did for this business," and making me think he's gonna retire because I feel like this has been happening for a year, and he finally, after taking a few minutes to get to it, uh, he said he wants the world title. So there's a direction, I
that's
guess.
great.
Yeah,
That's not the problem here.
yeah, no, it's not. No, and I'd rather probably him be champion now than Moxley, because at least Jeff would freaking come out with the title, act like he's a champion.
I don't think Jeff should be champion.
No, no,
That's a
no,
bad.
no. But like, I'm just saying that's just where we're at right here. Like, I
I mean,
would rather
you got
Jeff.
Jay White there.
Well,
You
yeah,
got
yeah.
Max there. You got so many people. Hell, I take Hangman
No,
again.
wait a minute. You know who should be freaking? What the hell am I talking about? What the hell have I been talking about? You know who should be freaking world champion right now? Shelton Benjamin.
I
He's
don't
the
think so.
he's one of the best wrestlers on the roster. Every time.
I love him to death, but I wouldn't. You know what? I'd make him TNT champion right now.
I mean,
I'd reignite that belt
uh,
to
he-
bring more significance to that title, in my opinion.
isn't the Jackass champion? Which one? Jack Perry? Isn't he?
No.
Who
Daniel
the hell?
Garcia is TNT
Oh,
champion, which I'm okay with.
oh
But
yeah, I forgot.
if you want to make something like the Hurt Business, they're pushing their Hurt Business like crazy. I'd put the TNT belt on him.
I'd personally would rather literally just watch Shelton Benjamin throw people around and hear another Death Riders promo. I can't. And I
Yeah,
love Shelton. I love him.
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, the people like the Hurt Business, the Death Riders. It's like I don't know if people know what to do with them. I think you know what I think the Death Riders are. People they probably don't care about the whole gimmick, right? For lack of a better term. But when the bell rings, they want to see those guys. They want to see Pac. They want to see Claudio. They want to see Moxley when the bell rings. But when the bell is when the other bell rings, when the match is over, they go back to apathy, which is not what you want.
No.
All right, let's move on. Let's stop talking about Dynamite for now. It's fine. Yeah, I don't want to spend the whole night talking about Dynamite. Okay,
uh,
Raw is on Netflix now. And the difference here between AEW is Dynamite and Collision are simulcast. So you can still watch it on cable, on TBS, and watch it on Max. Raw is completely on Netflix exclusively. So this is a bigger deal in a way because it's completely on streaming, and they were Raw was on cable for 32 years or so, right?
yeah.
So this is a big deal, and we'll talk about how big did the show come across later on. But first, The Rock opened the show. What did you think of this promo?
At least he arrived on time. And I don't know. Listen. If all I've seen or heard about from The Rock was just him on TV, I wouldn't be as annoyed at him as I am now. Now it's just like, it's like with The Rock and all. It comes a lot of other crap, but here he was fine. It was brief. It was very brief. It was just him doing his thing. He did take a while, like usual, but no, this was fine. And also, uh, I understand Muhammad Ali. Like Muhammad Ali gave him that People's Champion belt, right?
Yeah, his family.
Does he have to carry it everywhere he goes?
You should.
I mean, but but that could be confusing for someone like because one thing I did like about this show that it felt like a start of something new because they were actually taking into account not just people who've been watching for weeks and years. They were taking into account, what if this is your first time watching Raw? What if you're with your friends and you're watching Raw and like, and because they were explaining things, they were giving natural sounding background for a lot of people. But what if someone sees this and looks at Rock like, is he the world champion? Why is he carrying around that belt? What the hell is that? You know?
I would agree with that if the announcers didn't explain what it was.
Well, that's true. Yeah, yeah,
They explain what it is.
yeah. They're doing a great job doing that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you're right. Like, yeah, that's true. I part of me does wish that it was just like a belt buckle. You know, like Kendrick has that cool belt buckle on the cover of GNX.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean, like something less flashy. That,
Well, wrestling is played with titles, right? Because
yeah, that's the thing.
if any random off the street asks you, "Oh, who's the champion right now?"
Which one?
How much time you got?
Yeah, like which
That's the
fucking one?
answer. Yeah, it's exhausting to answer that question. But I see what where you're coming from. But at
Yeah,
least they explain what that title
yeah,
is, and this
yeah.
it's symbolic, right? So it's not an actual title.
It's nice. That's
But I
fine.
honestly thought this Rock promo was this was corporate Rock, right? This was, I saw
Yep.
somebody commented saying this was Dwayne Johnson, not The Rock, right? It was
Yeah.
half The Rock, and he went up there and he's on the board of TKO. So on the first Monday Night Raw on Netflix, their new business partner, you got to have somebody from that side come out and talk a little bit. I get that, I understand that, but to me, the prime focus should be setting up big angles, either for WrestleMania or whatever. I feel like Rock's promo was just The Rock playing the hits, and it was good, right? People loved it. I thought it was exciting, but to me, when I'm investing my time to watch this, I want to know what's next. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't want to see, because Rock is like pretty much active in wrestling right now. Like the last year or so, like he's a everything he's doing is probably with intention, or else he'd be doing something else. He wouldn't be on screen. He'll be doing movies. So like, if The Rock's gonna wrestle, let me know now. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're probably doing it in their own way, but I need to know now. Like, what is going on with you? What's your intentions? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Because
But
sometimes it just feels like he comes out like, look at me. I'm here. Like, hey, Rock, what are you doing here? I'm here.
I'm just here. Yeah. But I
Like,
will say this: when you think about Raw, right, the history of Raw, because we're kind of celebrating the anniversary of Raw at the same time. The Rock was a focal point to Monday Night Raw during
yeah.
like the Monday Night War period, like the later half of it. He was a huge part of it, so it made sense for him to be here. But what's your point
Yeah.
outside of like you doing the Rock stuff,
He
right?
points at Cody. He counts in the air 3 times. And then he taps his muscles.
I think it's like he's got goosebumps. I think
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, I like that.
that's the thing.
That's
That's kind
that's
of
kind of
cool.
cool. He's so charismatic. I just wish he wasn't so fucking annoying. He's so fun to watch. Like he's so great. But it's just like if I didn't hear about everything else, it's like God, I don't know.
All right, Solo and Roman opening match for the Ulafala. Um, did you think this match had too much interference?
Look with the bloodline. What happened in the last tribal combat match? The same thing.
Yeah,
I like
exactly.
no. But you know what? I shouldn't say that. Like you're wrong to point that out. You are right to point that out. It's silly. It is very silly. It's like the only way I could defend it is that like, well, they said that it was no disqualification, but at the same time, it's like, uh, you like you know, like you know they're gonna come out, but it's fine. Uh, yeah, it predictable, sure. I think my only complaint about this match, okay, you know how later in the night, what was the like, you know, Jey Uso and McIntyre right before Punk and Seth,
Yeah.
Roman and Solo should have been before Punk and Seth. That should have been before Punk and Seth. Like Jay and McIntyre probably should have been before both of those matches. That's how I feel.
I I like this match. It was really good, but I just think that tribal combat rules need some rules. Like they can't just be everyone can do whatever they want.
Like make it a cage match or something like that.
Yeah,
Like
you need some sort of parameters because then you can use that to tell a story. You know, because if you're doing the same thing you did at SummerSlam and the same thing that happened at WrestleMania, it's kind of tired. But to they did set up some things, right? Kevin Owens got involved, and it made sense that he got involved because he's kind of him and Drew are kind of like on a revenge tour against the Bloodline, which I like, and we're kind of there's a lot of different angles that are spurring off of the Bloodline, which is good. So you have Cody and KO continuing what they're doing. They were brawling, which is great. Um, but I think there's just too much everyone getting involved. It's like, does Roman need all this help all the time? You know, I don't know, man. I just
well,
think that
I
it's
thought
just
the
a
idea
lot.
was that like Roman up until this point had no help and now he does. But I see what you mean.
Yeah,
Like
it
it's
should
not
have
even
been. Yeah,
just
I do agree. It should have been a cage match or something.
yeah, and it's look, on one hand, like I can defend it by like saying like, okay, the story was that Roman had no help and now he has help. But at the same time, it's like if this is a tribal combat from what they're making it sound like is something that's only should be between two people. So they should hammer it home. Like I like the fact that the match is no disqualification, so you notice a definitive winner. But they should hammer it home for the honor of the family. This just stays between us. It just stays between us. Anyone who interferes is exiled from the family. So something like for the at least make it seem like it like rooted in your Samoan family because you know how they were explaining how Rock is high chief now. They were explaining the hierarchy.
Yeah,
Use the hierarchy that you established and contextualize that with the match. Like, hey, we know we could interfere, but maybe for this specific match, since it's tribal combat, it's for the honor of the tribal chief, right? Or who gets to be tribal chief. For the honor of this match and for the family, y'all can't interfere or else. You feel
yeah.
me? Like they
Kind of like a
should
Ring of Honor, a pure rules match, right? You only have X amount of rope breaks, right? And you could use that to tell a story. Like heels can cheat and use a rope break without the ref seeing or something like that. Um, the tribal combat needs some rules, or else it doesn't mean anything.
at
And you
least
can't just
one
have,
deadly rule, one
yeah,
like rule you can't cross.
yeah. But it was good. Roman winning was interesting, but they had the Rock hand Roman the Ulafala, and it seemed very definitive. But again, you never know. Like they were staring, they gave each other certain looks. But I feel like at this point, it's January. Royal Rumble's around the corner, and WrestleMania is right around the corner. So if you're gonna do something, you better tease something soon. And I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, but if they're gonna do Roman and Rock, we need some more seeds. You know?
Yeah. I mean, they had I think they have all the seeds to do that. All the freaking hell, even if you just go by all the freaking looks they were giving each other.
Yeah, they were
Like,
teasing this for a year. So honestly, like you don't need to be all that subtle anymore. You know?
no. Like, yeah, all the subtlety is gone now. Like we know what you might want to do. Just tell us something.
Yeah,
Rock, just tell us something. Roman does such a good job of communicating without saying anything. Rock says so many things, but you still communicate nothing, which is
yeah.
funny. It's when you think about it.
So do you want to see Roman
And
and
Rock,
The Rock?
I mean, sure, why not?
Yeah, yeah, me too.
Like,
I think that's the big money match to me.
because Cody's already champion. And what did we say years ago? That they didn't need the title for them to wrestle each other.
No, they don't.
And
No.
if anything, okay, well, before Cody was involved, yeah, it was okay. You could do Rock. You could have done Rock and Roman for the WWE title at WrestleMania in the main event. But then Cody got involved and won the Royal Rumble, and then like, so yeah, but like now it's like you don't need the title. You don't need the title at all.
Yeah, and I think if Roman really wants to call himself OTC, he's got to beat the other OTC. You know what I mean?
Well, Roman is the original tribal chief. I can see that the tribal chief is under high chief. So that alone can sell this match.
Yeah,
Just their
absolutely.
hierarchy alone. Like this can be a thing. Maybe Rock retires Rock from in-ring competition. Roman can be that guy.
He could. Yeah.
Like he could.
He's the only guy to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one other person I would like to see wrestle The Rock.
Who?
You know, the Pepsi Mark.
Punk?
Yeah. I would like that.
Uh,
I mean,
I
actually, you know
saw it
what?
already. I don't really
Yeah,
need to
that's
see it
true.
again.
That's true. You know, and like I don't know. You know what? You know what? Let dead dogs lie. I love that. Let's.
Yeah,
You're right.
they
You're
they
right.
did it like
You're right.
twice already. It's fine. They don't
You're
need to do
right.
it again. You
That.
don't need to spin the block on that one.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
John Cena. He declared for the Royal Rumble. Do you think he should win?
Nah.
No.
I'd like them Pepsi Mark to win the Royal Rumble before they go to Saudi Arabia, and he won't be there. He's not going to be at the Saudi Arabia show, but he's going to be at the show this year. So I'd like, but you know, you should have CM Punk and Cena wrestle again, or have them fight to win the Royal Rumble. Have Punk be the one to throw out Cena.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like
because
that idea.
who was one of the few guys that everyone thought you're not going to beat Cena, and he beat him? Punk. You can do that again.
Exactly.
Do that again.
Um, and I don't know. Like this is John Cena's like farewell retirement tour. If they're gonna do, they got to go out with a bang, in my opinion.
Oh, in terms of his last match, that's different.
Yeah, yeah, like or the road to his last match, right? So him winning the Rumble, I wouldn't be mad at. Um, but I do like the idea of Punk throwing him out more because it can be redemption for Punk because he tore his triceps at the Royal Rumble
Yeah.
last year. So
Yeah.
yeah, but let's say if maybe the Chamber, John Cena wins the Chamber or something, or if he does win the Royal Rumble, let's just say, who do you think he should face at WrestleMania?
I want the Pepsi Mark to fight Gunther. I want Punk to
Oh,
fight
not
Gunther.
CM Punk, John Cena.
Oh no, but no, yeah, I'm saying like I want him to fight Gunther. So
Okay.
whoever isn't, whoever Cena could wrestle Cody. Cody
Yeah.
should win. Cody should obviously fucking win. But if there's any, here's the thing: if there's anyone, because actually the thing is, because Randy, I keep thinking about Randy and Cody. I think Randy and Cody should happen at some point.
Yeah.
I think Cody should retire Randy. So maybe if I, but so then again, yeah, I guess I don't know who should retire Cena. If that's, but I guess for, but if you're talking about world title championships,
If you're
Probably Cody.
Cody and John Cena makes a lot of sense, and it's
Yeah,
something I would be interested to see how they go about doing that. But like for Gunther, right? I mean, let's say if they want to make him like a super crazy heel, him retiring with John Cena would get him a lot of heat. But Cody and John Cena would mean a lot to me because they have history too. Because Cody used to drive John Cena around when Cody was like a young boy.
yeah.
So they have some history. So they could tell an interesting story, I think.
What if Cody beating Cena and retiring him is the start of Cody's heel turn?
Yeah.
I mean,
Anything's possible. Yeah.
because WrestleMania 40 ended in triumph with Cody being lifted in the skies. What if this ends with Cody finally becoming Homelander, like everyone wants him to become?
Yeah. Yeah. I want to see how that would go.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. That's what it is. It's very interesting to see that. Because Cody is the face now and Cena was the face 15 years ago. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So and
Well,
you could do a thing
yeah.
like where after Cody brutalizes him and turns heel and everyone boos him out of the building or whatever.
Yeah.
Then when Cena gets up and he has his last moment with the crowd, like Undertaker, when Undertaker lost his streak. When Lesnar left the arena,
Yeah.
everybody had that moment to be like, "Shit, this is over." Damn, it ends like that. Well, thank
Yeah.
you. Well, thank you, John. You could do a
Let's just
thing
hope
like
John
that.
doesn't get concussed 30
No,
seconds into the match. So.
no. If he's wrestling Cody, it's not gonna happen.
Right.
If he was wrestling Lesnar, be worried for him. I was thinking about that suplex match.
Yeah, that was something.
In hindsight, I thought that was one of my favorite squash matches ever.
Yeah.
That shit was because the
was
feeling
very
I
well
had after
done.
was like, oh, okay, Lesnar. This is what Lesnar thinks of John Cena. I'm not gonna wrestle you. I'm just gonna suplex you until you die.
Um,
Uh
let's talk about the women's world title match. Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan. What do you think of this one?
this was Rhea's night. This match had one goal, and that was to get the belt on Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, they did that job.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was, I did see something funny after the show. Because pretty much the match ended. Rhea beat. This is crazy. So Liv Morgan's been with Dominic for a while, right? And Liv stole Dominic from Rhea. And so after Rhea beats Liv, Dominic is in the ring in front of God and everybody, telling Rhea, "Take me back, baby." And she kicks him in his huevos.
That was great stuff.
And but the thing is,
That was better than the match.
yeah, and that was so funny. But one thing that was even funnier, and I didn't consider it until I saw it, Liv Morgan obviously saw what happened. That's another thing I liked about this show is that they don't treat you like you're dumb. People see things happen. Like Liv, it didn't take Liv a week to realize, wait a minute, she fucking beat me, and you're going right back to that B word? Are you serious? And nah, it was funny because like she was like looking at fire and looking at a picture of her and Dom with Dom's eyes crossed out, and she was crying and angry. So she's either coming back for revenge for Liv or Dominic or both.
Let me just say this about this match. Okay, like, yes, it's the right choice to put the belt back on Rhea. Liv Morgan, I'm a huge fan. I love Liv Morgan. I don't buy her for a heel. I don't. I just don't. To me, it's just
Yeah,
it comes across phony and it's not authentic, you know. And this match psychologically was way off. The idea that Rhea was selling so much for Liv made no sense. This is how this match should have gone.
yeah,
It could have been way simpler. Rhea just beats the piss out of Liv for a good portion of the match. Then Raquel Gonzalez jumps her, clotheslines her with the ref looking. Then Rhea sells, and then Liv like capitalizes on her, does chicken shit stuff,
oh
right?
my god,
And then Liv gets a little offense here and there, and then Rhea comes back and wins. That's it. Because Rhea's so big and strong, and Liv is they're not. It's not like Charlotte and Rhea. You know what I mean? It's a huge difference here. But I don't know. I just didn't buy this match. I didn't really like it. It was just nothing. They had the right. The finish was fine. The three riptides in a row, which was cool. But I don't know. Couldn't get behind this match at all. It was just a means to get the belt back on Rhea. What'd you think of the Undertaker giving Rhea Ripley the rub?
other than you mentioning the fact that The Undertaker was a big part of Raw years ago, I did not give a fuck. Look, this was the night where it's sad to say, like, okay, Hogan, fuck him. I'm glad he got booed out of the building.
Yeah,
But Undertaker, it was just like, I don't want to see you, man. Too much. You've said too much. And look, listen, I appreciate everything you've done in the ring. I appreciate. Listen, there will never be another. There will never be a better wrestling character than him. There will never be a better. There won't be than the Dead Man. No, but one, why the hell did you need to be out here after Liv won the title?
I thought it was great.
I mean, it looked cool, but I understood it, but it's just like I didn't need to see
It
him.
was like the torch being passed in a way. I thought Undertaker was like perfect here. He came out on the bike. He didn't go in the ring for a 20-minute promo. He just got on the bike. He did a lap around the ring, embraced Rhea. That was it. It was perfect. It's exactly what it needed to be. It didn't need to be anything else. Like Undertaker wasn't plugging something, which what Hogan was doing, and Undertaker again, like he was
Well, thank
important
God
to.
Undertaker wasn't plugging anything.
Undertaker was on Raw when they were getting murdered by Monday Night Nitro. Like
Yeah,
he was a soldier,
yeah.
So he needed to be here. It made a lot of sense. But let's talk about Hogan, right? Briefly,
No, but before we get to Hogan, I wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
and I did have another comment about Rhea. I think Rhea and Liv should have been a squash match, but like, imagine if Undertaker's like bike ran out of gas when he hit the ring, and it was just there. I'm sorry. Let's get the Hogan. Sorry,
It's fun. Okay, so quickly, I don't want to give this racist some energy, but he came
another
out.
racist.
Yeah, he came out getting booed and he could barely walk. It was sad, and he plugged his stupid beer and he kind of took his like the formula of his RNC speech and inserted Raw on Netflix. That's what it was, and it was really like just a he was a parody of himself. What they should have done, because Hogan wasn't really part of Raw like that. Like after WCW went under, they brought the NWO back, and it was just that was brief, and it was like not significant. They should have had Hogan come out to Voodoo Child. He should have been NWO Hollywood Hogan, and he should have said, "I was on Nitro and I almost put this show out of business and you should thank me," or whatever. It should be a total heel, you know.
I think Trump is my best friend in the world, brother.
Yeah, then you no, that would have been a
That,
disaster.
yeah, and everyone would have like, if you
Yeah,
want to
like
go full heel, I'm just saying,
Hogan should not have been on this show
no,
at all. And
nope.
the crowd didn't like it and no one cared. And he's just a shell of himself. Just stay in your box and just, worship Trump or whatever it is you're doing these days and just stay the hell away from wrestling, please.
You see, I wanted to say the same thing to Undertaker, but the thing is, you have a point that Undertaker actually he was pivotal in Raw. He was.
He was important.
It's just when I look at both of them, it's just like, go away, just go away, just leave me alone. Like I get it, but God, in fact, if anything, taking at least Hogan off of this show would have shaved a lot of minutes off. You know,
But his segment was brief. It was insignificant. He showed up and he barely made it down the ramp. He barely was able to rip off his shirt.
he
I
probably
don't know
would
if
have
you
had
saw.
something. Yeah, I saw that. I saw
His
all of
shirt
it.
was like hanging from the back. It was sad. it,
He should have walked more down the ring so someone could throw something at him.
it was embarrassing. It was a waste of time. But if they wanted to bring Hogan back, that's the way they should have done it.
Never
Okay.
again. Oh no, no. You see, your idea was great. I like your idea.
Yeah. So they've been airing Penta vignettes
Oh.
on Raw recently, and they did it
Oh
on the show. And
yeah.
Chad Gable was in, what's his name? Um, Adam
Adam Pierce.
Pierce.
Yeah.
Adam Pierce's office. And he was like, he wants a luchador.
Hmm.
And, Adam Pierce, is like, all right, I got something for you. So Chad Gable's got a mystery partner next week. So I guess we're going to get Penta versus Chad Gable. What do you think of that?
Good for Penta. He's out of wherever he was before. He's out of that hole. That's nice. It can only go up from here. Hopefully, hopefully, it can only go up from here. Because yeah, I've been saying for years that I wanted this guy to go back to be a singles guy for a long time.
Yeah. Like
I
where AEW kind of screwed up with him, like him and his brother, great tag team. His Ray Phoenix, plagued with injury and stuff like that. But I think Penta should have had a singles run. They should have put a singles belt on him. Um, that's what I think. I mean, I don't know. They kind of wasted because they didn't really use the Lucha Brothers like that. They would be on Rampage a lot and stuff like that, which is sad.
death.
They should have had a singles run. He should have like an Impact, like say what you want about Impact, but they made him the world champion for a little while, and he was the most compelling thing on the show.
I mean,
And yeah,
despite Lucha Underground's weird ass shit that they did with him, sometimes he was a presence. He was when he
yeah,
first became Pentagon Dark. That was like holy shit.
it's good
Uh,
stuff.
that was scary. I like that. Like yo, like bring some. I would like to bring that intensity back, but I don't know.
They got to tease him and like Braun Breaker or something, or him and um, LA Knight or Shinsuke is the U.S. champion, but
Yeah.
Yeah, or him and Braun Breaker, like not like right away, but just like tease it.
Yeah. Or
Yeah, but
Brom.
Chad Gable's
Oh,
a good first match for him.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Definitely. Gable and Braun Breaker would be two different good matches for him.
yeah. All right, main event: Punk versus Seth. Now, now that it's all said and done, they almost a year teasing this match, and Punk wins. What do you think is next for Punk?
Hopefully Gunther.
Yeah,
Hopefully Gunther.
you
Because
think he should be a champion,
why not? I mean,
Punk?
yeah, why not? I mean, like, having seen Punk as a champion in your division is not a bad idea. Some people will definitely argue with me about that for dumbass reasons, but I no, like, because what was his only hurdle like before Gunther? Seth.
Yep.
Unless Seth wants to attack him again, which I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind if he wrestles Seth again. Actually, I wouldn't mind that. Because as good as the matches was, you could even have a better match after this. But next, Gunther. In my heart of hearts, Gunther.
Yeah, I would love to see that. The one thing I would say, like his AEW run, they put the title on him pretty quickly. Um, it was like a year and change, almost a little under a year, but his first major trajectory was towards the title, which was great. He got hurt, but still, like I think that Punk is getting older, and he's still super popular. To me, he should be a champion before it's all said and done.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he should either win the Rumble or win the Chamber.
Because you have one champion that can be on every week or wrestle a little more often, and you
Yeah,
have Punk who can just be a legit champion, do interviews, cut good promos, get attacked maybe. Like, honestly, yeah, but him and Gunther, I think that's like
that
who
would
the
be
hell?
special.
Yeah, who the hell else? And plus, that would be an easy match for him to do. He wouldn't have to do any scary dives like he did on this show.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm seeing right now. Like Punk can have a great match with anyone on that roster,
Anyone of
but
any
the one thing I
size,
see
yeah,
now that's like that needs to happen is him and Gunther. Yeah, I agree.
that would be. You saw Gunther's vignette.
Yeah, that was good.
I hope they just give him a. I say this all the time. Give him a better theme song, for God's
Yeah,
sake.
that's a lot of people. There's a lot of bad
Jesus.
themes now
Oh
in
yeah.
wrestling. So this show was about 3 hours and change, which I get because this is the first Raw not on cable for 32 years. You're on Netflix. Great, big deal. It's good. Not being facetious at all. But did you think it was too long?
I mean, not because of all the good matches and all the actual, not even just good in ring matches. When I say good wrestling, there was good promos. There was like even some of the ads were pertaining instead of putting some stupid ass ad. In some points, they would put like they would have like a vignette explaining something you might not know or something if you're just watching like, oh, this is why Roman and Solo are fighting. By the way, before we get to that later, like I liked the pacing of this show up until the bullshit started to come on, like the fucking like the Hogan other shit. Like, but other than that, you take certain things off the show, and plus, I hate how they're. I miss 2 hour Raw. I liked when Raw was 2 hours for that brief. What was it? A month? It was 2 hours. It was fine. They had to go back to three. Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, but at
But
least now you're not on TV, right?
yeah,
So you can do whatever you want, really. You can do a 2 hour show when you don't need to have a 3 hour show. Um, but I did think it was a little long.
yeah, I understand.
But I didn't find anything aside from like, like really like Hogan was like the stupidest
Yeah, that
thing
was
on
the
the
only
show.
thing that was like, what the hell?
Yeah, like there's nothing else on the show that was like, oh my god, this is terrible. There wasn't long stretches of stupidity. Everything for the most part had its purpose, and I thought it was a pretty good show. I just think no no TV show should no show that's on every week should go past the 3 hour mark. It shouldn't be 3 hours, but overall, again, the show is great. But lastly, like, did this show feel like a big deal or just another Raw?
It did feel like a big deal. It
Yeah,
did. Like no, and like I love how they're making it seem like not only like this is like like, you know how, like, every time, like, for the past 2 times, this is a new era, and the only thing they would change is the fucking Titantron or something. Here, a lot of elements felt like they changed. Like, they changed the rig mat. Like, I could have done without the big Fortnite logo, but, like, you know, they're trying they were, and plus they were focusing everything in the ring. Like, even, like, when a match would happen, the focus was in the ring. I like that. I like that they're doing little small changes that, but enough to show you that, oh, this is different. This feels different.
Yeah,
You
usually
know.
shows like this when Raw, when they have a show like this for Raw, like Raw 25 for example, which we were at, that was the go home to the Royal Rumble, and it was a nostalgia fest, right? And if you're just watching that show, there was a lot of like casuals that watched that show, right? That was like one of the highest rated Raws that year. They should have focused a little bit more on like who we have now, not just
Yes.
like who is here before. This time around, it was mostly who is here right now and a little less about nostalgia. But lastly, I said that before, but this last point, Stone Cold Steve Austin needed to be on this show
Instead of Hulk Hogan.
instead of Hogan. Yeah, he needed to be here. Like Hogan, like Steve Austin is the one of the reasons why Raw turned the tides in the Monday Night Wars. He was crucial to Raw. He needed to be here. He needed to stun someone.
Austin's little clip of his Austin 316 promo got a bigger reaction than Hogan that night. Think
Yeah,
about that.
man.
Like, yeah, Austin should have been on this show.
Yeah, this was a good show. I enjoyed it. I'm excited for Raw on Netflix, and now we're leading into Royal Rumble and WrestleMania season, which is even better. All right, this is the Wrestling Caucus. I'm Peter A.
I'm Smiley Ariaga. Hopefully, I didn't clip too much.
Nope, you're fine.
Sweet.
Later days.